All right, hello and welcome back to the Altair campaign. This is episode 5, session 4. I'm Nineveh, your host and GM as always, and with me are Kathea and Soinarrios.
Hello. Kathea here.
Good evening, morning, whenever. This is Soinarrios.
Nice. Someday we'll get this to sound really natural, but we're not quite there yet, and that's fine. All right, so last time we got together, we went through a raid, the aftermath of the capturing of the Three-Hall Stead, whatever, and kind of closed out our war in fire season. And then we kind of talked about what you guys wanted to do for the rest of fire season and pursued some of that work in terms of getting land and things. And so the end result of that was that the two of you, Thea's brother Kalor and his family, and then are all moving out to the stead that you captured. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I just wanted to recap real quick, and if anybody has anything to add, feel free.
Well, I think everybody's moving out there. I think I'm actually staying at the temple most of the time, but I will be out there helping during the times when we need extra help.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. And then Soinarrios, you had to find some people to help work the land for you because you're not really a plower.
No, yeah. Not fully skilled agriculturally yet.
Right. Or really more of a herdswoman, I suppose, considering the land that you're moving on to. So yeah, you would need someone to manage your cattle for you. And also you need cattle, which you have some, but you're not at capacity. Yeah, you have a few. You're not cowless, but you are maybe cow light.
There's an interesting turn of phrases.
I do my best. But yeah, you have some cattle, but you're definitely not. You don't have as many cattle as you could take care of on the land that you have. Let's phrase it that way. So
now are the cattle considered clan property?
Yes.
So if we want to get more cattle for here, that would be a clan thing, not an individual thing per se.
Right, yeah. Basically you're managing part of the clan's herds, and you get some of the profits of that or the output of that, but yeah, they're not actually your personal cattle.
What I was meaning by that is if we want to add cattle to this, it wouldn't necessarily fall squarely on us to go purchase them, that we could pull on clan resources for that.
Yes, that's true. Your clan ring might try to purchase some cattle, or you might prioritize some cattle raids next year. There are different things you could do. Hard to, since you're going to want to lay off the Mandarin for a while as part of your new peace, and the other two clans next to you are friendly. Not impossible. You could probably steal a cow or two from one of your friendly clans without making too many problems.
You could go 2 clans away.
Then you got to ride through someone else's clan lands, and they might tip them off or demand something from you. You've played King of Dragon Pass. You know how this works, right?
We'll trade them in song.
Are either of you good singers?
We can take our Molly dude.
Take your Molly and have him do it. That sounds like a good plan. I like that plan. We should do that.
It would at least be entertaining.
That's the truth. Okay, so we're going into downtime to cover fire season. There's going to be some events that we play out. Particularly, you two are both going to seasonal holy days. We won't always roleplay seasonal holy days because they're more of a, get your magics back, maybe learn a new spell activities. But because we haven't really played through these before and they're new to your characters as well, or fairly new to your characters as well, you've only been adults for a couple seasons now. You've only been to 2 or 3 worship ceremonies as initiates.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I thought we would play through those this time. And part of that too is to help introduce some of our dramatis personae, like our NPCs that are important to the clan but that we haven't really met, like either your characters or just on the podcast. So,
and I think we were going to do skill checks.
Yes, we need to do skill checks.
Last time's adventure. Well, the reason I was going to ask is maybe we do those and then go into things we're doing downtime.
Yes, I agree. So start with skill checks. Pick as before.
Did I get ahead of you?
No, you're fine. It's cool. Keep me on pace. Otherwise, I'll dither and talk. You'll start by rolling your skill checks, and you'll pick 3 skills that you did not check during the adventure, or from your cult or your background, as like downtime skills. Essentially, they're skills you're using outside the adventure, but you've been using them all season.
So that would be our downtime ones. Don't we also do skill checks for the things we use during the adventure?
Yes, but you pick your downtime skills before you check those. You can't double dip.
Oh, can we just not go back and repick them so they can make it? Okay, sorry. That seems. It would seem easier to do the ones from our adventure and then pick 3 other ones that were applicable for us and go do those.
I mean, you can divvy it up however you want. You can roll 2 batches if you'd like, but the point is that you can't check for archery and then also do archery as your downtime skill or something like that.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
but I thought it was mentally it would be easier for me to go through and do all the skills we used in the adventure first.
Okay,
and then
feel free
go
to do
back
that. Just don't double dip.
Add 3. I won't.
You may follow whatever process you would like. That's fine, as long as we're all on the same page.
So if we go through the skills, can we kind of figure out which ones we actually used?
You should be checking them when you use them.
That's really hard on the wiki.
I know. You should probably keep notes. I don't check your skills for you. I don't have printouts of your character sheets. So you would have used combat skills, ride, archery, axe and shield for Soinarrios, insight.
Yes. Do I get a check for that? Should I get a bonus?
You fumbled it, so but that'll leave an impression. So maybe you learned something. You all use these skills. Scan would have been on there. Other than that, those are like the general set, right? Like you paid attention to your surroundings, you rode around, you got into a fight, you did some politics. If you used anything, let me know.
I was trying to remember if we did orate anywhere.
I thought we did.
Yes, you did during downtime. Or not during downtime, but as we were kind of talking about what you were trying to do.
Okay.
In terms of finagling some land and stuff for Kalor. So,
I also felt like maybe we used intimidate.
Did you?
I don't remember if we yelled anything.
If you think you did, go ahead and check for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did not write
them
all down.
We'll try to keep better track in the future, but I know it's a lot of burden while we're trying to sit in front of a computer, look at the wiki, talk through the fight, play the characters. I know it's a lot.
Freely admit when I've run it, I've usually just kind of winged them and told everybody afterwards anything that seems appropriate. And so I'm kind of bad that way. So I'll try to be better.
Yeah. Lazy son or Kathea.
I failed my ride horse increase.
Dang.
I didn't catching up.
I did manage to make.
Good.
How much do we increase when we roll now?
When you roll, it would be, of course, the one thing I didn't open was my PDF.
It's 1d6.
Is it 1d6? Okay. I was thinking it was.
You're good. I was setting up my environment for everything, and I forgot to open my PDFs. So
it's changed enough, and that's one of those things that's been.
The problem often is that they're small changes, and so they're hard to remember. It's easy to remember when things are very different, but when they're almost the same, it's tough.
If we used anything under knowledge, at least me.
Homeland lore.
Probably not.
What did I use? Lore. Oh, you did use
that.
Wow, thank you. I forgot about that. I apparently didn't learn anything from it either. I'm doing particularly bad on all the skills.
It's tough.
No magic increases. I don't think I did any melee.
Okay, and I should add, if you cast any hostile spells that overcame a target's power, or you resisted having a spell cast at you, that would give you a POW check. I don't believe that happened for anyone.
No.
Nope. But worth noting.
So. You said we're able to pick 3 occupational or
from
cult?
Either your occupation or your cult. 3 skills between those 2, as you please.
Okay.
Well, it seems appropriate. I did not increase my rather low insight.
I
learned nothing.
I did.
Rubbing it in.
I had a lot of 95s and 80s.
I rolled a whole bunch of things that would have been on the edge of being criticals if we were rolling to succeed in the skill. I do have a question.
Yeah, hit me with it.
How do runes adjust? Are those things we consciously change? And I ask because I managed to deal a lot of death in the last one. Well, I mean, for what we're trying to do, I killed 2 out of 3 people.
No, I hear you. Let me look around a little bit. I should have looked it up in between sessions, but
I'm sorry.
I was also lazy. No, it's you talked about it last time. I just didn't look up. So That's on me. Using runes, no. Inspiration, casual use. Oh, you would get an experience check in it.
So basically, I'm rolling against death.
Yes, and if it improves, it'll decrease your life rune because they're
Fertility. It has death versus
Fertility,
fertility.
Yeah, that's life and fertility are the same rune.
Oh.
Sorry, kind of like storm and air are the same rune, and fire and sky.
Okay. Well, guess what? I rolled over it. So
Okay.
is it the same percentage shift?
It'd be just like an experience check. So you could increase it by 3, or you could roll a d6.
Yeah, I rolled it.
Okay. So you'll just increase it by whatever you rolled.
And I decreased the fertility by that much.
Decrease fertility by the same amount. Yep, because they're opposing runes.
I'm up to 86% death.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. You're not in, mastery of the rune, like where you're.
Do I want to be in mastery of the rune?
I don't know. So you're definitely more deathy.
Yeah. I mean, it seems appropriate. We killed 3 people. I killed 2 of them by burning their heads off.
True.
It's kind of hard to argue that wasn't a bit killy.
True. Did we do a reputation gain for all that?
I think we did.
I believe so too. I just wanted to double check.
I have a reputation of 21 right now, for whatever that means.
It's not bad. Yeah, as long as you two are doing stuff together, your reputation should be more or less lockstep. Unless one of you really does a bad job and one of you really does a good job. And eventually you'll be getting the same stuff. Though one thing that Soinarrios might get that Kathea will not is a prestigious marriage. Because that is worth some reputation. Might get. You could mess it up and end up with someone not worthwhile.
I don't know.
Is it going to depend on how well they dance?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Sense to you, but I'm pretty sure Soinarrios gets the reference.
Nice. I don't know what Soinarrios' requirements are
for marriage.
I have some ideas about what her mother wants.
Hooray!
Yeah. Good times.
How important is your mother's standpoint? It seems like it'd be kind of important to you, but
it's important because you stay here. Like, it's not like in most clans where if you're a woman, you marry out of the clan. So even if your mother doesn't like it, you'll be somewhere else. You have to stay and deal with that. So
my downtime skills, and so far 2 have increased, and I did my cult lore and my worship.
Worship. Okay, that makes sense.
I thought those were fair enough.
Animal lore, herd, and manage household.
I have. Nice. I've done 2 cult skills. I could work on another cult skill, but I also wonder if there's a work skill I should be realistically doing.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Are you wanting suggestions? Is that what's happening?
I'm just kind of looking for general ideas of.
All right. What were you, like a light cavalry woman, I believe?
Yeah, I'm light cavalry.
All right, so you're.
I suppose animal lore or something like that. Go ahead if you have suggestions.
Your occupational skills are like ride, which I think we already checked. Listen, sing, scan, battle. Battle is not a bad one. Oh, you both should just make a free battle check.
Oh, thank you.
Because you were involved in a small war. I was going to mention that and I forgot. So I'm glad I looked at this, or else I would have forgotten it.
I actually improved.
Nice. So battle is a skill that is new to RuneQuest Glorantha compared to the old editions. It is a skill that you roll to come up with battle plans and tactics. It's also a skill that you would roll if you were involved in like a large war. So if you were involved in, say, if we were playing during the Conquest of Sarder, so like 2 years ago, those battles, you wouldn't roll through a series of fights. We would just roll battle, and that would tell us how you did. Yeah. So keep that in mind if you are of a martial bent and want to do big military campaigns. Battle is the skill for that.
Do you have my list of cult skills?
That's a good question.
I can pull them out of the RuneQuest 2, 3 items.
We trimmed it some because it was insane.
I know I have ride horse is probably the only agility one, unless you're gonna do climb or dodge or something.
I know, like you did worship and lore. Ride would be one. Your spear skill would be in there, as well as archery. Some of these you've already tested, I know. Your spear and medium shield, I know we settled on those.
Yeah.
We got rid of like large shield for shield maidens and stuff because the cult was way too complicated in RuneQuest 2. It had way too much stuff going on for a cult of its size. Not that all gods don't contain manifold mysteries and sublime nuances and stuff, but there was a lot going on mechanically as far as what you could do in the cult. I'm trying to think about what else we had. I think track. You should have a track ability through the cult.
Yep, that's true. Because one of our big spells is track.
Yeah, so you would, it lets you track in darkness automatically because it's like, isn't that what it is? It makes starlight fill the tracks of whoever you're following, which is cool. So I think track would go in there. Yolorna is a huntress as well as an archer. Those are kind of her big three aspects, actually, or unicorn rider, huntress, and archer.
So I would think my javelin could be used there too, probably.
Yeah, you could cult skill your javelin since you didn't throw.
I mean, I could cult skill large shield probably too, but I mean, I'm gonna
medium shields. I think
I got medium on there.
Okay,
I've skills in both.
Okay, I think we clipped large shield because it was just a lot going on.
Well, you can't really use it while you're riding on the horse.
Right. I think they put it in RuneQuest 2 because the shield maidens that guard the temple had their own line of like spirit magic and skills, and I just kiboshed that. I was like, no, they just use the regular skills that regular orange use. They just are more defensive minded.
So I went through and I created a link. I meant to highlight them, but anyhow, well, they're highlighted red right now. Ride horse, cult lore, worship, one-handed spear, medium shield, composite bow, javelin, scan, track. Okay.
Yeah, plus you would have like worship and lore.
Yep.
You said those already, but yeah. So yeah, that would be a pretty reasonable skill list. Unfortunately, I'm having some problems getting my email to load up.
Well, I have
too many things open, and my internet is sad. So
do track, which didn't. I will spend time during downtime hunting to supplement our food, so we don't have to consume our precious cattle.
Nice. Yeah, don't eat the cows.
Yep, don't eat the cows. We do have kind of a weird thing. Like cattle are super important, so don't eat them.
The cow will make more food if you don't eat it than if you do over the course of its life.
Cows, yes.
Yes.
Steers, no.
No, but you do. I mean, there's usually cattle life cycles are kind of odd in that they're really very close to human, as far as like they don't have like a specific breeding season, and they also gestate for about 9 months. It's a little longer. So like you have calves frequently. Like there are things you can do to control that by keeping the bulls separate and deciding when you want cattle to happen, like calves to happen. So a lot of times you'll do that over winter, and then you'll have a culling in the spring. So that's when a lot of your excess steers will become delicious food.
Done my skills, by the way.
Good, cool. Soinarrios, are you all skilled up? All right, so we can start moving into actually doing things, which is exciting. I'm starting to wonder if we have a habit of like beginning with downtime actions and then moving into the adventure, and I wonder sometimes if that makes for compelling listening. Hopefully it does, because we've recorded a bunch of these. So
I was thinking that.
Sorry about that.
No, it is not your fault. It is my fault. But
okay.
We'll probably continue doing it because of the way our timing for recording it is such that we usually are wrapping up adventures as we're running out of time. So we'll probably have to continue doing this in the future, and that's okay.
We could do the skill checks once we get going in between sessions.
Yeah, perhaps. And it gives people a chance to catch up and reorient on what we're doing, and lets us chat a little bit and figure out what's going to happen next, which I think is fine. In any event, we can now begin doing stuff. So that's exciting. So for most of this season, which we've already kind of talked about, you're going to move you're going to be at first jockeying for position, talking to your parents, working in the family a little bit, trying to get a hold of the land that you want and end up being assigned out. And then after that, you have to do some preparation to move everything and get things secured. So you'll have to do some of that, but eventually we'll roll around to Holy Days. There are weekly services at both your temples. I would assume you attend them, but
yes,
I'm not.
Absolutely.
We're not going to play through those because they're relatively pedestrian. You show up, you hang around, you know, and that's about it. But the big days will come up. So you're what a valuable wiki that lists everything in numbered days. So cool. It's probably day 75. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in Death Week, Fire Day of Fire Season, that's going to be the seasonal holiday for Yolorna. So that'll be your big holy day.
Death Week.
Yep. So the third week, and then Fire Day.
Fire Day
is the fifth day. So Friday, basically. Fire Day, Friday. Huh, that's funny.
Okay. Excellent.
Or maybe
Seems
it's Thursday. If Freeze Day is Sunday. I don't know. Depends how you take it. Yeah, so day 5, week 3. And then for Ronaldo, the wiki referred me to a page that no longer exists. So that's pretty cool. You gotta love that. Okay, Clay Day of Fertility Week and Fire Season. So the week afterwards, basically. So both of you will, within just a few days of each other, have your holy days, within a week of each other. A little less, 5 days. Go through your seasonal holy days. And appropriately for Ronaldo, this holy day is actually the Mahom holy day. So the goddess, the Hearth Spirit, is particularly honored on this holy day. So it does have a little bit of fire in it, as befits fire season. Okay, so we'll start with Kathea. I apologize. We're gonna cut back and forth a little bit for your characters, but there's gonna be, you're obviously separate from each other. So
Right.
We'll play these back and forth a little bit displaced in time. So to begin with, you're going to be in Fieldstone, which is your clan's town, essentially. I've described it before, but we'll talk about it again. It's a small, typical like Tarshite style village. It has a wall of Fieldstones piled around it, which is how it got its name. So it's just a dry stone pile wall that's like 5 or 6 feet tall. Has earth around it, like a ditch and stuff, to make it a little more defensible. And then it's got a big mound in the center of it that's raised up, like a lone hill or an earthwork. And the mound is roughly square. And at its front, so as you walk through the gates of the walls, there is an entrance in the mound to the temple of Ronaldo, which is in the mound and under the mound, essentially. There's a path that winds around this mound, and if you walk it once, you end up about halfway up the mound, and there's a level spot there that's been flattened out, and on that sits a small temple to Orlanth, and then some shrines to the Lightbringers. And if you keep following the path, it winds around again, and then behind and above that, there's more of the mound, which has the temple to Yolorna on top of it, which has like a chalk. It has chalk sawed like cut into the dirt and dropped in to make a circle around it. And then there's a brazier, or like a metal dish that always has a burning fire in it that's kind of propped up. So it looks kind of like the one actually at Boldhome. There's a picture of it, but it's smaller and it doesn't have like the rams holding it up, and it's always got a fire burning in it. So if you look at the town, like from the gates, you can see the Earth Temple, the Storm Temple in between them, and then the sun, like the Sky Temple above it. So it kind of makes a microcosm of the world, right? Like Earth, air, sky. If viewed from above, the mound is a square, the path is a spiral, like a storm rune, and then the chalk and the fire make a sky rune. If that kind of makes sense, like all sort of nestled inside each other. So obviously some mystical attempts there, but that's kind of the town. So Kathea, you'll go to your temple for your holy day first. So we'll start with you. It's going to be a nighttime ceremony. A lot of Yolornan rituals are at night, so you're under the starlight.
Right.
This is...
We worship a star.
Yes, you worship a star. So you have a lot of ceremonies under starlight. There is a moon in the sky. There's always a moon in the sky, but there is some red showing. today. So she would be waxing. So she's on the way to full.
Okay.
So,
Going away.
Say what?
She's going away.
She's going. Well, tomorrow will be full moon day.
Oh,
basically.
waxing,
Yeah,
not
so
waning.
she's getting worse. Like, so take it as you will. But she's more red than black and will be fully red tomorrow. For people who are new to Glorantha, just to kind of recap, the moon is in the air, like above you, below the sky, Gesundheit. And it's always there day and night. And one of its faces is red and one of its faces is black, and it turns. So over the course of the week, the moon will go from being fully black to fully red, and then all the stages in between. So that's just one of the oddities of Glorantha. The moon is a physical presence that is fairly close and occupying the same space that the storm god occupies. So anyways, at your temple, your priestess, so the rune lady, rune priestess who runs the temple is a woman named Calchis.
Have her on the wiki.
She's on the wiki?
No, I said do we?
We do now because I just put her on there.
Okay.
As what I was doing before the session started. I made little entries under other clan members. She might not be in it, actually. I'm sorry. Let me put her in there. She's not technically a clan member, so I had admitted her. I'll put her in there real quick. Okay, the note's going to be fairly brief right now because I want to.
No, it's fine.
Play, but yeah, so she's not from here. She is a middle-aged woman. She's fairly broadly built. She's got brown hair that's streaked with gray. She wears it in a flat braid that she winds behind her head. She usually carries a spear or more often a bow and some arrows, but she doesn't usually wear armor or anything. She usually just wears like a white dress and some silver jewelry, silver being sacred to your cult, being the star metal. And she is from a rural clan like up in northern Tarsh. So she's from a long ways from here, but she's lived in your clan for most of her life. She didn't marry into it though, so she's not actually a part of the clan. She just runs the temple. Also here, so this is it's a seasonal ceremony, so you're going to get pretty much all the Alornans from around here, from your tribe, the other auditory tribes. You're going to get most of them. You're going to get some Yolornans from other places. This is one of your busier holy days because the weather is usually relatively nice in fire season, so people can travel fairly freely. So you'll get a fair number of people from Tarsh and from Sarder journeying here to do like their yearly rituals. There are shrines kind of scattered around the area, but this is really the only temple. So you get a lot of people from other places coming here to attend. The way the numbers work, just kind of a note, is that on average, there's about one person per clan who will initiate to Yolorna at any given time. Throughout Tarsh and Sarder.
So how many do we end up with in total?
A few hundred.
That's fine.
Yeah, so a few hundred total. There won't be that many here, but there'll be more like 80 or 90 actually present, which is a lot of initiates to show up. And
we probably don't get anything but initiates. I mean, initiates and higher. Like, we don't have to pull in casual.
No, you don't have very many lay members. It's a few in your clan, and that's about it. Like, right. Otherwise, no. It's just there's no good access to it. So you have a bunch of initiates show up. Your clan produces more Yolornan initiates than most clans do. So you have like 3 total, counting yourself, actually initiated to the cult right now. You're the youngest of those 3 because you're basically one of the youngest adults in the clan right now, alongside your cohort. The other 2 are Marina, who's older, and she's a sergeant of one of the 2 rune lords in Dragon Pass, or rune ladies, excuse me, and she has pretty much peaked at initiate. She isn't pursuing a higher path. She's comfortable where she is, and she just does that. So she follows around her rune lady and helps her and organizes some of their initiates and goes on adventures. The other one is maybe 5 or 6 years older than you. Her name is Harala, and she has dedicated herself as a temple maiden. So she pretty much lives at the temple full time and just guards it. You would know her better.
Sounds like Marina's not around very often.
Yeah, she's out and about a lot, and she's quite a bit older than you. Whereas Harala is someone you would have remembered growing up.
But she's not that much older than me.
No, at 5 or 6, like, she would have initiated around the time you were 12, so she might have even babysat you off and on sometimes if it was necessary. You would have known her. You would have been old enough not to be friends, but you would have been pretty aware of each other. And you know her now, obviously, because she's always at the temple.
I assume we pretty much know everybody from our clan.
Yeah, you know everybody. It's just a question of how well. Like, and so you would know her reasonably well.
Excellent.
Awesome. So you're going to attend. Go ahead.
I'm my friend that went on the adventure with us.
Yes, but she left back to Tarsh.
Bet she came back for this, didn't she?
No, because she was there for sea season, the sea season holiday, so she didn't come back for this one. It's hard to travel back and forth a lot, so a lot of people will go to shrines most of the year and then just come here for one. And since your high holy day is like in darkness season, it's often hard for people to attend.
Yeah,
because of the snow in the mountains. I know, right? So hard to think about somewhere here, but yep. Let's see. So the Kalchis will lead the ceremony, and as it begins, it's gotten dark, everybody's assembled, and this is a very fire and sky oriented cult, obviously. And then death kind of brings in that like austerity and honesty aspects. So the cult rituals are pretty straightforward. Like they're very refined, but there's not like a ton of like pageantry. You sing songs like hymns to Yolorna. You offer sacrifices of silver, right? So stuff that's silver or silver coated being left as votives. And a lot of that will be returned to the cult as cult itemage over time, but there's a lot of that going on. So just the fire is really bright. It pushes back at the darkness, like you never feel like you're in the dark. It is nighttime, you can see the stars, but you never really feel like you're standing in the dark. You're standing in the light of the fire. And so is everybody else. So that's kind of an aspect of it. And Kalchis is leading, like directing people in song. She's making people move around, right? So that you form like a circle. She accepts the votives and any sacrifices that people make. This is when you would also like deliver your cult tithe, which we've already kind of, I think, deducted as we go along. But this is when you would actually turn it over as part of this. So you would like at some point your character Kathea would approach the fire and like leave her items by it, and the priestess would accept them and like hold them up and devote them to Yolorna and then put them down again.
That's when I believe we brought stuff back from our adventure.
Yes.
And probably some stuff from Conquest.
Yes.
Lands next door.
Yes, 100%. So
weapons.
Yeah, a weapon that could be devoted to Yolorna, or like I said, silver is always taken, and yeah, so pretty straightforward. So we'll leave you kind of there to get into the mood of the fire ritual, and we'll cut over to the Earth Temple below you in a few days later, and start that up, and then we'll come back to you. So I promise.
That's fine.
Like, so at the Earth Temple, Soinarrios has to go to her holy days as well. And this will happen on Clay Day, so it's about 5 days later. This takes place during the day, but it also takes place underground, so it is definitely dark. You'll enter the Earth Temple through its gate into the mound, and then descend down like a short walkway that kind of goes deeper into the earth. So you start at level, and then you drop like several feet over this little ramp. Once you enter the temple, there are storerooms here that have like pylos and other ceramics that hold wheat and other grains. You've been in there before to inventory them as part of your cult duties. There are also to the other side, there are chambers for like the priestess and the acolyte and those sorts of things to stay in. But directly in front of you is the actual temple, which is a square room inside the mound. So you'll enter into it. And you have to, the entryway is built really low, so you have to duck to get into the temple. Like you have to fold over quite a bit and walk through. It's only like 4 feet high or so. So once you're in the temple, this is like a large gathering of women. There are a lot of people here. Most of the women of the clan are Inaldans, so they're all here. Unless they absolutely could not make it for some reason. There are a lot of lay members, so younger women, or a handful of women who are devoted to other cults primarily. But most of the clan's women are here. So you're talking, I don't know, several hundred people crammed in. So it's pretty tight. Like it's a good sized room, but there are a lot of people in it. And while you're in the earth and below the ground where it's cooler, it is getting warm fairly quickly with all these people piled in. There are a few torches lit, but it's pretty dark. And that's just part of the nature of the earth, is that it's dark underground. There is an altar up front. It's like a raised platform of earth that's just a couple steps. You could step up onto it if you wanted. You shouldn't. But like,
not yet.
It's separated a little by height and then back, and there's ritual items here. So like a knife, a stone platform for making sacrifices. There's a chair for Begana to sit at. That's the priestess of the temple and also your grandmother. And then there are some votive symbols. So a little statue of Ronalda, a wreath, like a wreath of woven snakes, like grass snakes that have been woven together. Items like that just kind of represent Ronalda. Begana is at the altar. So is your mother. She's an acolyte of the temple, and so she's assisting Begana. And much like Kathea's ceremony, this would be when your character would give her cult tithe to the cult. You've done some of that, like some of the items you took on adventures you've already dropped off here, but any like the 10% income sort of thing is what you leave here. Don't worry about the exact amount. Just be aware that you're going to do that at some point. You'll actually present it to your mother, who will then hand it off to Begana.
Yeah, I think I already took that out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I expect that you guys have been tracking that. It's I think an ingrained habit at this point that we just, as we've played for so long, that we just kind of mentally subtract 10% from everything we're doing. Because we know it's going to the temple. So it's not, I don't expect you to be like, yes, I have the 19 silvers and 2 coppers set aside. That's fine. Like we all know it's been taken out. I have no idea if that amount is right, by the way. So don't quote me on it. So you'll hand that off. And these items are also kind of piled up. Things that are, so short etymology lesson, making something becoming sacred means it becomes the property of a god. So once it's been dedicated to a god, it no longer belongs to a person. It belongs instead directly to Ronalda. It's her thing. The temple is hers. It's where she lives. Votive offerings are given to the goddess, and then they no longer belong to any particular person. They only belong to her. Same is true for Yolorna. A lot of these items are then, by the grace of those goddesses, given back to the cult to do things with. But there is a transitional period where they do not belong to a person. And that's something to be kind of aware of. Like once you've given something up, it's gone. And taking it back from a goddess is a bad idea, right? So there is, at the Earth Temple, there will be some singing. There is dance is a bigger aspect here. So you have a lot of ritual, but it's more focused on, like, you'll chant the name of the goddess or her titles while like dancing together as a group. And this is all meant to be, like, to use a new age term, consciousness raising, right? You're getting in contact with your goddess during these rituals. Like your Soinarrios is in the presence of Ronalda. She can feel her in the room and see her, and everything you're doing is happening like in that sort of direct presence of the goddess. So it becomes like a bigger ritual, especially as an initiate. You can see these things. But you can actually see the presence. Like you can see the way the torchlight reflects on the walls. You can see serpents like digging through the earth, which are sacred to Ronalda. You can see their coils moving as they move through the earth. You can feel like the presence of the Green Lady in the room with you, essentially. So that happens. That's exciting. And Yep. I know this is like a lot of narration. There's going to be more going on for you guys to actually make choices and do things as we go along. But I kind of want to set up like what's going on in detail because this isn't something we've really done before.
No, it's good with me. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. So, Kathea back up at the Temple of Yolorna on top of the mound, and 5 days prior. Yes. Fun, good times. These aren't actually happening simultaneously. As your rituals, like the song that's going on and the hymns that you're singing, are kind of being layered over each other, and you're repeating like repetitions of praise to Yolorna and lists of her deeds, Kalchis breaks in, and she starts to sing like stories, but they're just fragments of poems. So she sings like 2 or 3 lines, and then you guys have a refrain, and then you go back to singing your hymns. And she keeps doing this, and she keeps interjecting little pieces of like Yolorna's story, like her mythos. Since it's fire season and it's a celestial, like fire and sky are the same rune. Fire comes from heaven, basically. The sky is where fire goes to live. That's why the stars are bright and why the sun shines and burns. The stories that you have are about Yolorna's time in the celestial realm, so what she was doing as a huntress in the Sky Dome. And they're abstract. And they're not a full cohesive narrative. You have bits and pieces of this myth that are being repeated in pieces as part of the ritual, but what it's about is about how Yolorna in the sky was sent to track a great beast. And so she was hunting across the celestial realm, looking for a creature that she had a lot of trouble finding, despite being very good at hunting. And as the story sort of develops, you can see more and more of this happening in the Sky Dome. Like you can see a star, and even though it's impossibly far away, you can tell that it is a woman wearing silver armor and carrying a bow. Like you can see Yolorna in the sky. Tiny, but also like vast. And as you watch and listen to this myth unfold, you can see her hunting and trailing and tracking and losing her way and recentering and devoting herself more and more to the pursuit of this hunt. And as she does so, she gives up more and more things. She lets go of like any desire for marriage. She lets go of any desire for children. She lets go of even a need to serve a liege or to have a loyalty to other people, like to like the people in her life, like her brother, her mother, her father. And she becomes more and more devoted to the hunt and to the actions that she's taking until finally she, like, the myth is abstract, but what she realizes ultimately is that she can't pursue what she's looking for and hunt it. Like, she can't actually track it down. She has to find it by making herself worthy of being in its presence, which is a task of like asceticism and like purification and devotion. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I like that. Makes sense.
Cool. So maybe write some of that down while I'm talking to Soinarrios. Like take some notes about the structure of the myth because you might need it at some point in the future.
Are you implying something?
No, I'll straight up say it later. But like, but for
this
now,
will be
yes,
on the test.
Subtext, yes. Like one of the for any listeners new to RuneQuest, I can't imagine there are any people tuning into this who don't already know about RuneQuest, but you never know, right? Myths are not just stories about the past, but they are tools you can use to reenact things in the god time where the gods still are in order to take a piece of that back with you or even to make changes. And so a myth is a tool both metaphorically as a way of improving yourself, but also concretely as something you can use to change the world. So when I say that a myth may be useful, like it's literally true. You may need this one. You might want to have a story in your pocket. It may be helpful. All right, so cutting back to Soinarrios under the ground. Similarly, this rite, even though it's in the darkness, as you're undergoing these dances, and there's just a ton of people around you, so you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people, and so it's hard to like dance. You're more swaying and like taking steps around a little bit as you like move slowly, but it's very rhythmic. And the fact that there are all these people doing the same thing at the same time lends it a lot of weight and a lot of gravity. And as you get deeper and deeper into what you're doing, and as the god time gets closer and closer, you the torches go out, so now it's completely dark. And Bagana starts to talk, and she just tells you this myth. It's a story that she knows, about how a long time ago there were many fires on the face of the earth, and they did a lot of damage. Oakfed ate the forests and killed a lot of elves, and there were other fires that also ran wild. There were fires big and small, and they were all damaging to the earth. They destroyed crops, they burned up things, they killed animals. And Arnalda isn't a warrior, and she isn't really like a shaman or a spirit commander. And so she couldn't turn aside all these fires or put them out. And while other heroes did do those things and other gods did control those fires, she did not. But what she did do was reach out to one fire who was small and wasn't hurting anything, but just existing. And she made a place for it in her home. And she made a deal with it, as Arnalda often does with things, that she would feed this fire and take care of it and always give it a place within her household as long as the fire would help her in doing her work and be tame. So the fire would help cook food and help provide light and help warm her household. And this fire is one of the three low fires. Her name is Mahome, like Mahome, and she's the hearth fire. She's the spirit of the hearth fire. And she's a companion to Arnalda, and is also the source of the ignite spell that all Arnaldans learn when they initiate. She's why you can start a fire with your mind, essentially. So every household has a fire, and so every household has a Mahome spirit in it. And ever since this deal, so since basically the Storm Age, this little fire spirit and the goddess have been constant companions. And so you dedicate this ceremony to Arnalda, but also to her. And so when she says that, she relights the fires. Like, so she lights up several torches, and she lights a fire on the, not on the altar, but on the dais, the raised platform that she's standing on. And then it casts everything in light. And you can see earth spirits, so the serpents and things, but you can also see little fire spirits like dancing around the room and whirling around. And so they join your dance. And the room gets hotter and hotter, and it's been getting hotter for a while, just because there's so many people in it. But it ceases to be uncomfortable after a certain point. Like, you become comfortable with it as the ceremony rises. So it's kind of your deal there.
Okay.
So cool. We'll close. You have a 2-part section. Kathea has a 3-part section. So what do you do during this ritual? The only other thing that's going to happen here is near the end of this, to kind of close it out, Bagana is going to sacrifice a boar, like a big old pig, and she's going to anoint each of you like on the forehead with his blood as you leave, and that'll kind of like bring you out of the god time and ground you again, so that you're more in tune with the mundane world and less out of things. So while you're at this ritual, what do you do? Do you just like do a bunch of dancing? Do you try to help with something? Are you scribbling away at notes like in your head or something? Or are you trying?
I think I get into it, but at the same time I try to keep those around me in time or in rhythm, so we don't disturb the stability of us entering the god time, because you have those particular steps or whatnot for the reason that Arnalda set forth. So keep my little section going well.
Okay.
I want to help, but I'm not gonna try that because, especially who's leading. So I don't want
Makes
to.
sense.
I don't want to look like a nepo baby. So.
I got you. All right, so you participate, you take on a little bit of a leadership role, but you don't push too hard or try to do too much. It makes sense. Roll your worship skill for me.
Okay.
This is mostly for the form of things. It's a you didn't spend that much divine magic, but I want to get into the habit of doing these things.
Skill after bonuses is a 36, and I rolled a 68.
Okay, so you failed, but you would get 1d3 rune points of your magic back. I believe you spent 1.
So I get 3 back.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, because you would have spent your blessed crop spell as well, right?
Yeah, that's the only one I've spent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because you didn't spend the heal wounds. Yeah. So for your leg injury, you just cast heal at it. Yeah. So you had 1 point spent. You were definitely going to get it back. But yeah, just so we're into the form of things. On a seasonal holy day, you roll worship. If you succeed, you get up to 2d6 points back. If you fail, you get up to like d3 as an initiate. If you're higher than an initiate, you get more back, but that's not going to be relevant for a while, I don't think. Cool. So that's basically you. You get to see some fire spirits. You get to learn a little bit about one of your more important but very focused subcults, and you get a little bit of pick blood. So hey,
well, all in all, a good day.
It's a big day. Yeah. All right. So back in time and also above, we'll go back to the Alornan ceremony, which is less bloody, more restrained overall, I would say. So as Yolorna, and you can see this kind of playing out in the sky, as well as hear these snatches and bits of myth, poetry, really. It's little couplets that once Yolorna has reached a point where she can be worthy of the hunt, she no longer has to hunt. It's like once she stops and purifies herself, like the thing that she's been hunting shows up, like it just emerges from the sky to her. And I mean, obviously for you as a player, but the thing that she's been looking for is like a giant horse with a big horn on its head and like a lion's tail and cloven hooves. So once Yolorna has basically become the sort of person who can ride the unicorn that she was seeking shows up. Like, and then they have obviously a great partnership throughout the rest of the mythos, so they defeat bad people and do good things and all that stuff. But that's kind of the first stage. So, and like I said, the myth is not, to draw contrasts, like obviously the myth is not very complete compared to the Arnaldan myth that just got told. Like if you were both exchanging notes at some point, like, but you have a framework to work from. The idea of being a unicorn rider is really central to the Yolornan cult. Most Yolornan cultists will never achieve that. And a lot of them give up along the way.
What do they? I just have some questions here because some of our big things here are celibacy and no family, no children, obviously with that.
Right.
Is that only really true for those who want to become unicorn riders? Do we have a lot of women that are?
It's mostly the celibacy thing is for all initiates.
Okay.
But so you have a pretty good fire rune, right? Like your sky rune is pretty high.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that the sky rune teaches is purity. The sky rune is big on things being purified, being not polluted, right? Like the sky is high above and it's made of pure light. Like, and so the sky is very focused on things being clean and in order and purified and dedicated to their purpose, and everything being set in its proper places, right? That's just part of the function of the sky rune. It likes those things essentially, or more accurately, it is those things. And also your other major rune is the death rune, which is ascetic. It's about giving things up. It's about separation. It's about also honesty. So like when those two runes interact, you start getting a lot of like, you need to be very driven, you need to be very focused, you need to be very dedicated. Like you need to give things up in order to attain higher levels of enlightenment. Say what?
We're kind of killjoys here.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, Humak is the holder of the death rune, and the first thing he did was cut off his own family. Like, he cut off his own, like, relationships. Like, he was like, I have to cut my storm rune off of me so that I can wield death impartially. That's just the sort of thing that death does. And, like, fire does similar things in a different way. And so their interactions get pretty, like, monastic and ascetic and philosophical. And that's just like the Yolorna cult isn't just a bunch of like women with unicorns riding around stabbing things with spears. Like there's more going on. As cool as it would be if they were just a bunch of women running around stabbing people with spears, like that's fine. But there's more happening. So, and this is kind of your first real intro into that world. As a character, she hasn't really seen a lot of this.
Right. I mean, it's only like my third holy day or something like that since.
Yeah, probably. You would have had your initiation ceremony. You would have had the one in sea season, and then this one. And this is definitely a more important one. It's the second biggest one. Being in fire season. The only one bigger is the one in darkness season.
When we do these types of things, is the way you're picturing cosmology here is that everybody in the group is really having the same vision. It's not a case where we are having different visions in the same.
I think most of you will be having the same vision.
Okay.
If one of you were illuminated, maybe not.
Okay. Well, okay.
Or a a god learner or something. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're mostly going to be seeing the same things. You might picture Yolorna differently, or have a different perspective, but it's largely the same stuff. Like you're all being shown the same.
I was just curious,
but you'll be seeing it from your own perspectives. So largely the same. Like it's something that you and the other initiates could talk about, and you wouldn't be like, no, it wasn't like that. It was like this. Like you'd all more or less be on the same page.
Okay, sounds good. Just curious.
Right. So that's kind of, as the story gets told and the songs start to die down, there's really not an animal sacrifice. It's not really Yolorna's vibe. So things kind of just quiet down, and you're allowed some time for like contemplation, essentially, before the ritual finishes. So you can spend some time sitting on the top of the mound in the firelight with all your like sisters, cult sisters, just sort of focusing on being in the presence of the divine and experiencing that. So same thing, you'll roll. Is there anything specific that you do, I guess, here? There's not a ton of room for activity, but you can kind of choose like if
I
you're
don't think
more...
Probably not. I mean, I think she's pretty overwhelmed by it and connecting with it, and knowing that she was given things up already, or was I guess I'm new to it, but still kind of solidifies why she has to do those things and helps steel her nerves, because she's really forgoing a lot of what's expected of a young lady in her society.
Yes.
And it helps to reinforce it for her rather than dissuade her in any way. She kind of doubles down on it.
Good, yeah. So that probably coincides some too with the increase in your death rune, being more ascetic, more separated, like embracing those things more. Like it's not just about killing. Like death is all the runes have their obvious connotations and then more subtle ones as well.
Well, and she wasn't really about death. I think that's going to be a struggle. She's going to have the character going on, and she's not really wanting to kill lots of people, but she's probably going to struggle with that. I mean, that makes sense. Know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get you. I get what you're saying 100%.
She's not a hardcore, just like killer to kill. It's like, well, at least not now.
Right,
I was going to say, yes. And specifically not the one you know about that I played in the past.
Righto.
He really wasn't there either. He became that. He didn't want to be that.
Righto, I hear you. Yeah, okay, cool.
But around this, I do want to mention, around all this, she definitely wants to connect with everybody and make sure she's going to try to at least meet, I can't remember her name now, the priestess. There aren't that many of us, and just get a chance to talk to her if she can, or bathe in her presence.
That's something you could do during the quiet contemplation part of it, would be talk to your priestess about spiritual matters.
Well, and I also know we have probably everybody comes here. They're probably here a couple days before and a day or two after before.
Yes, you would definitely have time to socialize around this event. It's not just
to make sure she knows as many of these women as possible.
Absolutely. I think that makes perfect sense. You'll spend some time socializing. Go ahead and also make a worship roll for me. Not so much because you need any divine magic back, but just to get in the habit of it.
I did fail, so I get my 1d3 back.
Cool. Have you spent any?
No, but I would get a 1d3 back if I had.
You would get 1d3 confirming
it.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the right number, yes. So
I do need to go through. I look at my rune list, and I do not believe it has. Or do I have to specifically learn other cult spells? I have Shooting Star down, and then I have a bunch of general spells, but I do not have any of the other specific Gilorna spells. Are those ones I don't have access to because I haven't learned a specific ritual of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll go into that more as we have time to start spending some POW and stuff. Do you want to spend any POW to learn a new spell or something? We can do that now. This would be an appropriate time for it. That would be true as well for Soinarrios.
Can I ask a mechanical question?
Absolutely.
My understanding is we spent POW to increase our rune points now.
Yes.
But is that also we learn a new spell when we do that?
Okay, so when you sacrifice POW for rune points, every point you sacrifice gives you a point of rune magic spells.
So right now I have access to Shooting Star and then common spells like Command, Cult Spirit, Divination,
You have
Extension.
all of your common rune spells, plus you would have Shooting Star.
Okay. Excellent. That's all I wanted to know.
Yep, and if you sacrificed a point to increase your total rune points, you would also get access to one more point of rune spells.
14 POW. I don't know if it makes sense to sacrifice any now or not.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I got a meta question for the other players of the game. What do you think?
No, it's not a terrible place.
It's maybe drop one.
Otherwise, we'll keep waiting to get a gain. And then, I'm general of it's not with the one here, but I think it still kind of increases your chance to gain later if you spend now. But
purely from a gaming the game point of view, I really need to pick up a spirit magic spell I can use offensively so I can generate POW gain checks.
Yes, that is the oldest form of optimizing a RuneQuest character is making sure you have a spell you can cast at your enemies.
And I actually would be useful for me to have a ranged one.
Yeah, it would. You're kind of in a bind because the spells you cast to be offensive are spells that you cast on your arrows.
Yep.
And so you don't actually get to attack someone's POW with them. So yeah, you should probably pursue that.
How do we get spirit magic spells?
I knew you were gonna ask that. I'm looking.
You can answer later if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to that too, frankly. But you can definitely learn, train them. And you would probably do it in downtime. POW gains. Okay, so so one thing that both of you would get, and this may influence some decisions, is because we went through a holy day and you went to a worship ritual in a temple during a holy day with the presiding official. Okay, no, the presiding officials would gain a roll. So you guys don't get anything until sacred time. Okay, so
a high holy day, right?
Yeah, on the high holy day and during sacred time, you will get to roll a POW gain roll, just automatically. So just keep that in mind. Those will come in Earth season for Arnalda and Dark season for Gilorna. So the next 2 seasons, basically.
I'm going to spend a point of POW.
Okay, so your rune point total will go up by 1.
I'll go down by 1.
Your power will go down by 1. And your magic points will also go down by 1 because they're derived from it. And then you'll add a 1 point rune spell, or you could, if for some reason you chose to pursue it like that, you could bank that 1 point in order to buy a bigger spell later.
Now, if I have a stackable spell, I might as well buy a point now, and I can buy up to additional points. Or do stackable spells count the same anymore?
They usually let you target more things, but shield can be stacked. For instance, what spell is it that you have in mind?
Shield's not a common spell, is it?
No, it is
not. So here are the 3 special spells according to the RuneQuest 2 lineup. I have Shooting Star.
Right.
So if I have 2 rune points, can I just cast a 2-point shooting star, or do I have to actually know a 2-point shooting star? You know what I mean?
No, you don't buy them like that. You just know the spell, and then you stack the rune points when you cast it.
Okay.
So you don't need to buy like shooting star 2. But if you had like a 3-point divine spell like resurrection, right, you would need to learn that. But you could sacrifice a point at a time and save those points, like the spell point, basically, to do later.
We may have talked about this before, but the only special cult spells they have are Shooting Star, Silver Track, and Star Wards.
Yes.
Which sounds a lot like Star Wars if you mispronounce
the Star Wards are basically just wards, but they're a little different. Like they're for securing a space.
I'm gonna take Silver Track with it though because I like that spell.
Yeah, it's also appropriate.
Yes.
Given the myth you just got introduced to and the things going on, you have an easy conduit to that because you really just learned about it.
Cool. I guess we can pick up Cat's Eye too from Yomelio, though I would assume I would have to probably go to Yomelio Holy Day to do that.
As an associated cult, yeah, you would probably want to go to Yemelian Temple. The closest one is an Altucher. There's this unknown temple there.
Yep.
Oh, and guess who lives there more or less full time?
Yep. Yeah, Harvard. That's what I was thinking.
Harvard lives there. Like, what a handy coincidence. So yeah, that's an option. Yeah, cool. Same
you want
deal.
You want me to be your wing woman there? I'm probably not very good at it.
You seem like you would be bad at it, honestly. Like, perhaps through no fault of your own, but
I'm hurt. I'm damaged.
I'm all about purity and like cutting people, but like have
purely
you met my cousin?
People.
Like, yeah. All right. Soinarrios, is there anything you want to do here as far as to like magic points and stuff?
No.
You're good. You're gonna hang on to your POW.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I lowered it when I divided between 2 goddesses.
If we pick up a spell from associated cult, do we have to put power that's connected only to the associated cult?
No, it's given to your cult.
Okay.
So you can learn it as an associated spell. And once you do, you can cast it with the rune points from your cult. It's the property of your cult at that point, metaphysically. So no, if you were dual initiated, you would need to keep track of like what spells you know in 2 different pools. But you're not. You're just picking up a spell from a friend. So it stays inside your, like, Yolorna is still your conduit to that spell. It was just given to you via her from them, if that makes sense.
Seriously, I was just holding on to this for a friend.
Yeah, like that. Like,
and Befuddle is the most expensive spirit magic spell to learn, I think.
It's pricey. Yeah, it's pricey. You can learn spirit magic. It would basically be a downtime action. It takes like a week. You can't do anything else during that week.
Somebody teach it.
Yes. But if it's a cult spell, your priestess would know it.
But I'd probably be able to learn a cult spell from like Orlanth or Arnold if I wanted to, as long as it didn't invalidate anything I know.
Yes, you can. Spirit magic is like that. You can pick it up from someone who knows it. You would pay full price for it because you're not initiated into any of those cults. But you would learn your cult spells at half price. I have to say, this is one of the few games where I feel like the downtime is like not really downtime. It's just a different mode of play. Like,
yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. So, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I like it too. It's not like we're like, oh, we're not doing things in character. We're just blue booking through some stuff. Like, it's like, no, things are still happening in character and on a timeline. They're just not combat things or like adventure things. I do like that it feels like we're still playing it. We're just in a different framework. It's fun. It reminds me a little bit of Lancer, but with more rules.
Where's the cost for spells?
They're listed in Spirit Magic spells, like 257. Where it lists all the Spirit Magic spells. The cost is there.
I just skipped the one page.
Nope, you're good. No, the books are not super intuitive.
Befuddle is, well, actually, it's right where I would have expected. The 2 pages I just flipped together.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
You're right. Befuddle's a tough one.
It's quite pricey. It's very powerful. It's
Demoralize.
one of my favorite spells. It was my favorite spell for a long time when I was playing a Linker Mine. So
I do like it. I thought about disruption before, but since that's just a straight damage spell, it's kind of
right. A spell like Demoralize has value. A spell like I don't know. Disruption, like you said, disruption is obviously an obvious one that does something directly to an opponent. Relatively useful there.
Otherwise, we want to go Tangle with Spirits, which I don't think either of us are equipped for yet.
Well, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
See,
The beauty of the sandbox, right? Like you step in whatever you step in.
Considering where we work, that's probably
So I don't really know what everybody has as far as that goes. This is something you want to do right now or return to later?
Nah.
Maybe later.
Okay, cool. We'll remember that you wanted to pick up a spell during downtime, and we'll figure out what it is. Like we can set aside that week during the rest of the season for it, and then you can just return and pick up something that you wanted. Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So the rest of the season is going to be spent working out the logistics of moving. So that's fun, right? Like you have to physically inhabit the hall that you were given, and you have to find people to go with you to herd. You need to get objects to take with you as well, because you're going to want things like a pot, a pan, a bed, maybe a bell. I don't know. Like, up to you. A loom, probably useful.
That might be the most important thing you just said.
The loom and the pot are probably the most important things. Like a way to cook and a way to weave are going to be important, and obviously a way to spin is portable because drop spinning is just a stick with a paddle on one end. So yeah, you'll have to find all those things. And Soinarrios, you have some decisions to make as far as how many people you want to recruit. You have 2 hides of land, so you can try to pick up like Carls, which is the social class of people who are equivalent in wealth to people who can't afford their own ox team to plow land, like a full ox team. So they have enough oxen to plow a whole hide. Now, in herder terms, you would just be talking about a smaller number of people who have like horses and things and are more capable of working the land by themselves and herding animals. Or you could hire half Carls, right, which are basically just people who are roughly equivalent to the sort of people who can afford half of an ox team. So they have to work together to handle a hide of land.
There'll be more people.
So that would give you more people, but given the way that Orlanthe society works, right, where wealth is owned by the clan and people are usually like your standing and wealth and the amount of things you can handle are usually associated with how competent and responsible you are as a person.
Yeah.
Because the clan is giving you stuff to manage. Like, so if you go with half Carls, the people who can't manage a full ox team by themselves are usually people who are a little less mature, responsible. Maybe they have a little more storm influence. So they're a little more brash and impulsive, not as reasonable as good grounded women can be. Just to inject a little bit of our clan stereotypes into things, or whatever, And then cotters are usually herders, but they would be a cotter is a step lower than a half Carl, but they are like sheep and swine herders, not cattle herders.
Relevant question here.
Absolutely,
because we've just taken this land over.
Yes,
it was presumably fields were already planted in season. There was not a major battle that would have torn them up.
You're not wrong, and honestly, the only way for a classical era type battle to destroy crops really is to either burn them or eat them on the way somewhere else.
Right.
Eating them on the way somewhere else isn't an option because our Glorantha does not follow historical planting patterns. And it makes so many things so complicated that should be really simple. But we're going to ignore all that because I'm not interested in that right now. We'll talk about it at some point. We'll talk about it in one of our off topics, but not right now. So yeah, their crops weren't destroyed. The big thing is that the land that you seize is largely herding land.
Okay.
So it's mostly for cattle. It's largely grasslands. It's like an alpine meadow, essentially. That you took, like a large flat area that is suitable, or probably a large, like uphill from all the water, so it's hard to irrigate, and is something where you would graze cattle. The other thing is that one of the reasons it was relatively easy to roll the Mandarin is because they were being raided during sea season by a bunch of raiders who are war clans that do not sow. Like they herd and hunt and raid, and so they interfered with a lot of planting.
Okay.
They made it hard for people to go out and plow their fields because they might get shot. So they didn't do it as much. Like, or they did it as groups that could protect themselves. So
it does seem to me like you would mainly need cotters here, because if we're mostly doing herding, it's going to be cattle and probably sheep.
Right, yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to introduce sheep, you would want cotter level people.
That sounds right. Sheep seem like a good idea.
Yeah, roughly as poor as cotters to do that work.
Well, but that would have an income stream for us. That would be something we could probably get into a little easier, I think. I'm talking for you, Soinarrios, not me, because
I like that idea. Like basically, one hide would be Carls of cattle, and one hide would be Carls with cattle, and the other hide would be cotters with sheep.
Okay, that makes sense.
I have an associated question here. It's an NPC, but my brother manages a herd on one hide. Is that a separate hide?
Yeah, it would be. There are 3 halls, so roughly the Three-Hall Stead is big enough to support 3 families, and so it would have 3 hides associated with it.
So we're all living there together. So he will also need to get help.
Well, ideally, Soinarrios would have a household. Some of her people that are working for her would have another household, and then Kalor would have a household.
Right.
And then you
because I'm just saying in a distant. Yeah. And what is his hide of land? I have him right down as herd.
Right. He would probably want cattle if he can swing it, because he knows how to herd cattle, and he doesn't want to be a cotter because being a cotter isn't great.
No, he would rather herd cattle. Well, isn't he kind of a? I know Soinarrios is really in charge of everything here, but isn't he kind of in charge of the household of that third one?
His wife runs the household, but he would run the herd.
Okay.
And yeah, this is a promotion. Like the reason you had to like finagle the situation is because it involved giving management of a hide of land to his wife.
I did good.
Yes. So that was why it was difficult. Like if this were a normal like patrilineal Orlanthe clan, Kalor would be a Thane. Like, and his wife would be totally normal how things are done. Like, but because your clan is matrilineal and the women stay put and the men marry off, everything is backwards, and he basically just brought a foreign woman in, and now you're giving her land. So that's why it needed some finagling. So
she's kind of taken the clan spot I actually would have had.
Yeah, actually, that is a way to look at it. Yes.
That's the way I was trying to finagle it. If I didn't say it, that's kind of where I was
that makes perfect sense.
She can take my spot.
Yeah, it's a good argument, and it obviously had weight because it worked. So,
yay!
Good for you.
This is all going to work out for me because I'm going to have to give up my strong attachment to my brother and sister-in-law that I've been trying to help out. I think down the line,
probably at some point. Like
that's what I was taking away from the whole ceremony, was actually that she's too connected to the clan and needs to disconnect. So. Not immediately.
Not immediately. No, no.
Just keep adventuring with some normal.
No, we'll do that.
I mean, take whatever you want from it. Like it's.
No, but that's way. Well, it didn't mean that you necessarily meant it that way, but that kind of was what I was saying. Her reading into it, that she has to let go of that close tie to her family, because she's actually pretty close to her family, despite.
Yeah, she is. So you have a good relationship with your family. Your family relationship is good and uncomplicated. So that makes one of you. The only thing really, your poor mother, her one of her sons is like, I'm gonna run off and marry a woman and bring her back. Then another one of her sons is like, I'm a Yelmelian and I was blessed with the Gias of celibacy. Like, and then you were like, I don't want to get married. I just want to worship a star goddess. Like, and she's like, that's cool. I love you all. Like, but it did kind of torpedo any chance she had of actually running the family. So
is my oldest sibling.
Yeah, there are other siblings, but
and is that a girl? Aaron Reith. Married to Barbor.
Yes.
So she has there, and then I have a younger sister, Yorva.
Yes. So you have some stuff. Aaron Reith is around. She's older. She has a kid.
She's the only one.
5-year-old. Yeah, but she's it. Yeah. So whereas Soinarrios' mother has had like a ton of kids.
Yeah, but there's only one grandchild there too. Come on, Soinarrios, you're not holding your end up.
But none of hers have like haired off and said, nope, no children for me ever, thank you. So, but you never know. It could happen. All right. So let's refocus and talk about these Carls and Cotters. What were you thinking there? Were you thinking so we're gonna have to reorient our modern minds a little bit. Scenarios, while the people who are doing the work of herding are largely going to be men, what you're probably really looking at is their wives, because their wives are actually from the clan. So you're really picking out the women you want to be in the household with you, and then they will bring their husbands along.
It makes sense, but
so with that in mind, what sort of people are you shopping for? And remember too, this is not like you are developing. You don't have employees. You have a patron-client relationship. So you are looking for people who need, obviously, an income, because everybody needs to do something in order to eat. But they need someone who has access to those things to help them with it. And so they work for you, but really they work for the clan. You're just someone who has access to land and money and connections that can help them get situated. So don't think of it as your employees. These are people that you have a personal relationship with.
Is this a place that would be worth pulling on your mom's help and connections, because it would help you advance?
Unfortunately.
Your mother is always helpful.
Either that or your grandma.
Also true.
Our grandma.
Yeah, both your grandmas. Yeah. Your mother is always helpful, and there are always strings. And you know this.
Yeah, I would call on my mother, but I don't think she's gonna have the pole.
You've also used a lot of that pole.
Me?
Getting Kelor his land. Yeah.
Yeah.
You made a good argument. You had to put some weight behind it, and your mother had to put some weight behind it.
As a whole,
she has less pull right now.
I'm stepping back. This is a lot of out of character stuff because I realize I'm not heavily involved in this. I just don't want to leave one player trying to manage it all.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just trying to think of, and I'm also looking at our cohort to see if their families would be helpful or not.
I feel we could also pull outside of our family, and you could strengthen your ties across the entire clan.
Right. The big thing with your cohort is that none of them are married.
Yep.
You need married people.
Any of the men are going to go away eventually. Yeah,
don't bring those worthless men.
Don't get too attached to any of them, maybe is what I'm saying. Except for Dirtass. Dirtass isn't going anywhere. He also can't get married. So
you can bring him out. Actually, he might come out with Kator.
He might just hang out.
Make it work.
Star
make him work.
Will be going away sometime. Art Cora will be going away sometime. If for some stupid reason you thought bringing Yenor along was a good idea to live in your household, he would eventually be going away sometime. Who? Probably dying, honestly. Yenor, your Amali friend, your Amali cousin, your distant Amali cousin. Yeah, don't invite him out. That would be foolish, and also he's gonna leave either because he gets killed or because he marries off, or honestly, the first one's more likely than the latter. So that's something to be aware of. He's an actual Ermal initiate. There is no law binding him. There is also no law protecting him. If someone got mad at him and murdered him, it wouldn't be a crime, as long as they didn't do it in secret.
Well, I was going to see if Orstar would help move us and maybe help build a loom or something.
Orstar, we got this cool house out in the country. Would you like to help us move and then go back home? Poor Orstar.
He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he'll totally do that. Yeah, he can build things. He's a carpenter. He can make stuff for you. He's happy to help.
I think We gotta get people that aren't on here. You gotta get young married.
No, I
couples.
agree.
I know.
I think
Yes, I know.
Soinarrios was just recruiting Orstar to help with the material good side of things.
I think you need to
Yes.
make your GM make up a whole bunch of new names and people and their tie-ins to us and show us
I am
the
in
entire
fact trying to
family
force
tree.
you to do that right now.
Nice.
There is a meta game occurring above the game. So, well, I will make up names and personalities. I really just want to know the sort of people that you're looking for. Like, what are you prioritizing? Are you picking out women who have husbands that will be most beneficial to you? Or are you picking out women that you're going to actually get along with while you're like all at the same stead, like day in, day out?
You'll pick out women to get along with because you're going to send the men all out to work and they can
But
work
there are
quietly
other options, right? Like, if you pick out men who are competent and you learn to put up with their wives, right? Then you'll have a better herd roll for your lands at the end of things.
Maybe a mixture.
That's also an option. A third prong of this is: are you going to pick women? Are you looking for women who have useful skills that you can? I was going to say exploit, but that was cold-hearted and not what I intended to mean. That you can use, right? Because they are clients of yours now. Like you are a matron, basically a patron of theirs.
I'm going to double down on my suggestion that you try to pull women in that give you ties into the other families in the clan if you're looking to move up, because then you can have a chance to get support outside of our family.
And that is another rail of this too. Yeah, like connections, skills, geniality, useful husbands, all valuable things. Like those are all useful qualities in a woman. So
I tell you all those things as the player. Meanwhile, my character's sitting back at their temple.
You're like, I can't do anything useful. I'm only marginally fun to be around. Like I'm not connected to anybody, and I don't have a husband. You're like, I have 0 out of. I'm like maybe 1 for 4 on this list.
I'm probably even difficult to get along with.
Oh goodness!
But you love me anyways.
Well, at least you can take hints.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So Soinarrios, what do you think? What do you think? So, we're talking about essentially 3 people, like 3 women that you're really considering, because you'll have 2, maybe 4. You could probably squeeze 3 cotters into the sheep herding side of things, and then you would have like a Carl-sized family for the cattle. So you're looking at like 2 or 3, 3 or 4 families.
See if you can get 1 or 2 that already have some kids around.
Yeah, that's also a thing to consider. Do you want lots of kids on your border home?
Just one more factor
next to the Mandarin. Like,
I mean, I think that gives you a chance to grow it, and those kids will become useful workers in just a few years.
Look at that. Like, so yeah. So what do you think? What sort of qualities are you looking for?
I think
and I want you to know you're going to be rolling to see how many of these you get. So,
because I have Glor as one of my Carls, basically, and another one, I think.
Yes, but he's separate from
the husband and wife. He
has a hide of land,
useful,
kind of already associated. You're trying to figure out the last 2 hides.
What was that?
Again?
I didn't hear that last bit.
I said, so you have 3 hides of land. One of those is Color's.
Yeah.
You have another hide that you want to put a Carl on for more cattle herding, and then a hide of land that you want to put a couple of cotter families on for sheep, more or less.
So we're still not going to be that full as far as the amount of people that could.
You wouldn't. You maybe having space for a family or so.
I was
or 2, like maybe depends on how much you cram them together. Like they're halls, but you would have an extended family essentially, usually.
Yep.
In any event, you're looking really for 3
think...
women. So you're looking for a woman to fulfill the Carl slot and 2 women to fulfill the Cotter slots. What qualities do you want in each of those people, and roughly what order?
Well, for the Carl spot, I think
Master Weaver,
his competence and then her competence are going to be the 2 more important things there, and I'll have to learn to work with them. But I don't want the cattle to slack. That's where more of the wealth is from.
Okay, so you would rank her skills followed by his skills. Would you rank geniality above her connections or below her connections?
Connections above.
Okay.
Because I realize if they're wealthy-ish as well, it's going to be a fight regardless.
Right, but she is at least like what we would call a free woman, so like a Carl. class
Yeah.
person. Yeah, I got you. All right, so that's them. Then, so for Cotter Family 1, same 4 qualities. I will tell you right now that Cotter connections should probably be at the bottom because they are technically, they're roughly the lowest class of people who can regularly maintain a household. So they don't have, they're less likely to have useful connections unless they're just related to someone. Like not like, it's like, well, that is my daughter, so, like, sort of connection.
Yeah. I figure if the Cotters have any connection, that's because they were the 4th, 8th, or 10th child or something.
I got you.
For Family 1, his skill, and then her geniality, and then her skill.
At least one you get along with well.
Yep.
Well, if you have one who always agrees with you, then you always have half the vote, like right away, without having to do any work. So, like, I mean, you're in charge, but it makes it easier if one of your subordinates likes what you have to say all the time.
Well, then Cotter Family 2 would be her geniality, her skill, and then his skill, and then connections, of course, is at the bottom.
Okay, so you really took a fairly middle path overall.
Smart.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, roll. So you're putting together a household. So your manage household skill is going to be the most useful thing. So roll that and tell me how you do. And don't be afraid to use a passion or a rune to help you with this to augment.
What does this fall under? Oh, knowledge. Huh. You want me to aid you? Joking.
I know.
I have a 15%.
So your harmony rune would be the best rune to inspire you. I don't know what passions you have that would be most appropriate.
One I think it would be clan.
Yeah, that would be appropriate as well.
To me.
I just wasn't sure if, yeah, that would be perfectly fine. You can definitely use that. I just wasn't sure what you had that would be most appropriate. So, do you have a preference? Do you want to use inspiration or augments?
I think so.
Okay. Would you prefer to use your clan, like loyalty, right? Loyalty or love? Or would you prefer to use your harmony rune?
Your clan loyalty fall. Where's that written under?
Passions.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just had to scroll.
Nice. I think the clan loyalty.
Okay, cool. So, give me a second here. Give me 1 second while I look some of this stuff up. Always doing stuff. Yeah. So go ahead and roll your loyalty first, just to start off with, or love or loyalty. Which one is it?
Loyalty. I rolled an 82 on a 60.
Okay, so that'll just fail. What that should do is, I think it might make things a little worse for you.
Hooray.
That's what it usually does. You find the right page
Spend
here.
A point for a reroll.
I really wish that their bookmark system was more extensive, but it isn't. And they don't highlight, like some indexes will highlight, like the bold, the most important mention of the thing in question. So if there's like 20 pages that mention passions, they'll bold the 2 that actually explain how they work.
Yep.
But not this book. Why would you do that when you could just not? So, yeah. So what you'll do is you'll subtract, let's call it 10% from your roll now. You basically leaned on people's loyalty to you, and you're too young for that. It didn't like, they're like, you've been an adult for all of like 4 months. You don't get to be like, hey, look at me. Remember me? Like, y'all owe me. So you leaned on clan loyalties to your bloodline, and you're just too young for that to have worked properly, or at least you did not finagle it into working properly. So you take a bit of a penalty. So now you'll roll manage household with that penalty, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, even if it would have a bonus, I don't think a 93 would work.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
Okay, so you're gonna fail. Roll a d4 for me.
4.
Of course, right? Like that's the high roll for you. Fantastic. Let me just monkey about a little here. Go and roll a d3 for me. So just roll a I know we're gonna do some fun stuff.
3.
A 3? Okay, cool. So now roll
maximum.
No, that one's fine. That just determines which. Roll another d3 for me.
Pawned off their undesirables on you.
Okay, now we're gonna repeat this process a few more times. Roll a d3 followed by a d3 again, and tell me each one. Well, we'll do this a total of 4 times.
3 and a 1.
A 3 and a 1? Okay. No, this might not change as much as you think. Okay, now again.
3 and a 3.
And one more time.
2 and a 3.
Okay, that's not. I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened. It changes what you get a little bit. So, like, the prioritizations that you set out are not going to be fully met as you kind of pull through things. But it doesn't change as much as you would think because you kept rolling on the same family. So it wasn't like the worst thing that could have happened. So what's mostly going to happen here is that you recruit a woman named Leikasa. So like Leikasa. She's a Cotter woman. She is personally pretty competent. Her husband, Orstos, Orstos,
yeah,
is like possibly, you don't realize this until after you have him around for a while. He may be the most worthless person you have ever witnessed. He just is not a good worker. Just total junk. Like he's a bad sheep herder. How are you this bad at this?
Like, he's as dumb as the sheep.
Like he's not a smart man, and he's not a man given to diligence. Let's say. Your other family of cotters here are a little different. You have gotten a woman named Vasana, and a man. Her husband is named Brodath. That's a good name.
Brodath seems more like a Orstos should have been.
We like Brodath. Brodath is good at his job. Brodath is a competent man. Brodath is helpful. Vasana is certainly a person, and she's easy to get along with, and those are her qualities.
She's a nice personality.
Yeah, she is certainly a person in your household now, who, if watched, can bake bread, and if watched, can help with the spinning, and if watched, can manage the soup, and if watched, can do most things. But think of her as an extra set of hands, as long as she's in your sight.
You're gonna be hard to adventure with now.
No, Leisana is a good one to have with her in the Cotter house.
Oh, that's right. These are the two Cotters, right?
Yeah, Leikasa is perfectly capable. Husband is worthless, whereas the other family is the other way around.
I think that one husband probably needs to have an accident.
That's easy now. Let's not get all CK2 on things. We don't need to start killing people. But honestly, the most
just
important,
trying to be helpful.
The most important set of people, so your Carl family, turned out the way you wanted them to. You got competent people that are capable. So the woman's name is called sorry, I'm stuttering here. Caldira. So like Kalldira. Sorry. And she is really competent, really solid. And so is her husband, whose name shall be, I gotta try these on for size. I'm using a generator. We'll name this guy Hendkar. Hendkar. They're both perfectly competent. They're not super easy to get along with. They know their worth. They're good at what they do. They're older than you.
Ugh.
They are free.
They pretty much have to be.
Yeah, almost everybody is in the clan. But yeah, they're older than you. They're established. They are free Carls. Like they're the what you would consider the middle class of the clan. And they bring a lot to the table. So they're a handful to manage, but they're very competent. And they, at the very least, can do their jobs and probably keep your cotters in line while you're gone. And like half your cotters are fine too. So
don't you only have two? I guess.
Well, two cotters and then their husbands. Like so, you have 4 adults in that unit, and 2 of them are good at what they do, and 2 of them are terrible at what they do. So
not the same couple.
No. You don't have one shining star couple and one terrible couple. You just have a couple.
Tell you what happened is when you went to these other clans, it took my idea. They pawned off people on you.
Oh yeah, the other bloodlines are like here, enjoy. Yeah, so that's what you get. Cool. So
Can I ask an aside?
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
I already asked this. Kalor does not have anybody else come in to work with him, right? It's just
no, he might retain a cotter or two when he needs them for help, but he doesn't have anyone living with him. Like in his hall, he just has his family.
Okay. How's his wife shaping up? Can she hold her end of stuff up?
She's competent. You've never had a problem with her. Her entire issue is that she's not a member. Like she's not a one of the clan.
I know that.
She's never been bad at managing a household. You feel like she's got a steady hand on things for the most part.
Good.
She's young. She's older than you, but she's still fairly young. But yeah, you feel like she's competent. You don't have to worry about her too much. She's not going to make a big mess of things. For your brother. Her like I said, her only problem is that she's sort of ostracized because she's not supposed to be here.
Like I said, I'm gonna keep working what I can to get her to take the spot that I would have had.
Yep, makes sense.
And I'm gonna work to get Dirt-Assed out there to help him.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense, and we'll tackle some of that moving into Earth season, and we'll probably have an actual adventure for Earth season, because it's usually the cycle is like you have like one cool like adventure cycle thing to do, and then one cool like downtime sequence to do, and then that's the season, and then you move on to the next season. Like, and hopefully they're cool. No promises. Cool. I can only do so much. So
I'm having fun. Do we know what we're probably gonna do next time, or do we have decisions to make? Are you gonna?
I really don't. If either or both of you have something you'd like to do as far as like getting out there and causing a ruckus, that's cool with me. If you don't, I always have something that I can do, that's just part of being a GM. Is having an idea of how to move things.
Our elf thing will come up again next year, so there's nothing there.
It'll be next fire season. Yeah.
Soinarrios, do you have any ideas?
Not off the top of my head yet.
Do I want to go seek you a suitor, or are you not ready for that?
Oh, we could.
We don't have to. I just was throwing it out. That was one idea. If we stay around here, one of the problems is I'm probably gonna. I'm convinced that the Mandarin's entire issue is they really need a change of leadership.
Yes, you
and the more I discuss that with you, the more you realize we may need to move. Get me out to do some, spend some energy somewhere away from here.
We should probably go touch grass somewhere else for a while. Yeah. So no, that's cool. Yeah, you could go to Aldature and do whatever you want to do in Aldature. You could, because that's where the Sundome Temple is. Yes. You could, I don't know. You could be like, let's go do the Caves of Chaos. That's fine. We could do that.
The Caves of Chaos,
or whatever they're called. Snakepipe Hollow. Snakepipe Hollow.
Same thing, different system.
Same idea. Give me a break.
The Caves of Chaos converted over might be more appropriate for our power
Maybe
level.
So. It's late. I've been talking a lot.
The Crab Town.
Yeah, that's an option.
What's that alone? Alone would be cool. Or Heron Green, too.
Yeah, there's lots of places you could go. You could just go on a day trip somewhere. If you have a destination, let me know before the next time we get together. If you don't, I'll push things along. Because I always have things I can do on my end to make things happen, and I always have a few of those arrows in my quiver, so to speak.
I would like to get away from here a bit, because, like we said, there's not a lot for us to do adventure-wise here now, since we've
right
peace with the people next to us, and I really hate the guy, and I think he's the issue behind all of it. But it's probably better for me to be steered away from that.
Absolutely, yeah. So
I wouldn't mind doing a cult-related thing, but that centers on my character, so I don't want to do that. Soinarrios. I also wouldn't mind going along and trying to watch her try to figure out how to get herself a man.
Yeah, I need to find the right one.
I thought the one guy seemed like he might be a good match, and I'm sure.
Yeah, but now my mom.
Maybe, but that's just one option. Like, that's just one guy. Like, you gotta
start looking
around.
Person. Like, we got one per season during adventures. We're gonna go here to meet this guy. And be like, oh, okay.
We could spend like a whole year just shopping around for boyfriends.
For men.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Suitors.
It's all good. But yeah. So, anyways, let's.
Hey, what's that? The Skull Runes.
The what?
Skull Runes. They're on the map.
Ruins?
I've heard of them, but I can't remember what it is.
What's over there? I would presume some ruins and maybe some skulls.
I don't know any more about.
I haven't been. Where are you seeing this?
On the map.
Okay,
to the
narrow down.
West southwest of Heron Green.
It's got 3 little dots. It's halfway between here and Green and Dragon's.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm sure the guide to Glorantha has a 3-sentence entry about it, and that will, which is more than nothing. Like, and I'm sure I can do something with that if you want to go there. You could go to Dwarf Mine or Falling Ruin. That sounds nice. Snakepipe Hollow is always around. Crabtown is an option. The Indigo Mountains. Hey, the Deadwood. That was the show, a TV show.
Why don't you just come up with whatever appeals to you and we'll go with it? I was just trying to come up and see if we could drive it, but I'm not getting anywhere. If you guys have a place you want
to go, let me know. If you don't, I'll have something ready for next week.
I don't.
Awesome. Okay. So I just mean over the course between sessions. Just let me know. All right. So if we're good to end there, it is getting a little late, and I have still a lot of rendering to do. Like before I'm able to go to bed. So. Okay. Cool. All right, so we will end it there, and next time we get together, we will see what happens.
Excellent.
So yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode, and thanks for you two for being here, and I will see y'all later.
Okay. See you later.